focus at this hour, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina will be holding a virtual summit shortly. Opening of the Haldibarri-Chilahati rail network will be one of the major outcomes of this meet. The rail network connects Bangladesh to the Indian states of West Bengal and Assam. 5 out of 6 rail links laid before 1965 will be operational. The Haldibarri-Chilahati rail link was part of the broad gauge main route from Kolkata to Siliguri. Both sides are working on Agartala and Akhora rail links, which are likely to be operational next year. A transport air bubble was also opened amid the pandemic to facilitate the movement of travellers on both sides, especially frontline workers. Bangladesh is also celebrating the birth of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who led the country's freedom movement against Pakistan. Both Prime Ministers will also inaugurate a commemorative stamp in honour of him. Both sides will also open a Bangla Bandhu Bapu digital exhibition. It will be displayed in New Delhi, followed by Bangladesh, the United Nations and Kolkata in early 2022. It will have a 360-degree view of the most historic locations and a robotic signature of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman as well as Gandhi. We are now being joined live by our principal diplomatic correspondent, Siddhant Sibal, for more. Siddhant, thanks so much for joining us. Tell us about the significance of this virtual meet between India and Bangladesh and the rail network, which will be a crucial outcome of this meet. We will get Siddhant back on this broadcast as soon as possible. For now, a crucial virtual meeting is to be held between the Prime Ministers of India and Bangladesh, and that is our top focus at this hour. The virtual meet once again will establish the strong bilateral ties that the two neighbours have enjoyed. A very crucial aspect and outcome of this virtual meet will be the opening of the Haldibarri-Chilahati rail network. And this is the rail network that connects Bangladesh to the Indian states of West Bengal and Assam. Bangladesh is also celebrating the birth of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who led the country's freedom movement against Pakistan. And both the Prime Ministers will also inaugurate a commemorative stamp in honour of Rahman. The virtual meet is expected to begin shortly and once again will emphasise the crucial bilateral ties between India and Bangladesh. Once again, this is our top focus at this hour. The Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina will be holding a virtual summit shortly. And the crucial outcome of this virtual meet will be the opening of the Haldibarri-Chilahati rail network, which connects Bangladesh to the Indian states of West Bengal and Assam. The two Prime Ministers will also celebrate the birth of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who led Bangladesh's freedom movement against Pakistan, and will also inaugurate a commemorative stamp in honour of Rahman. The focus of the virtual meet will be the bilateral talks between the two sides and the opening of a crucial rail network which connects Bangladesh to the Indian states of West Bengal and Assam. Now, once again, we have our principal diplomatic correspondent, Siddhant Sibal, joining us live for more updates. Siddhant, welcome to this broadcast. Now, tell us about the significance of this virtual meet between India and Bangladesh, as well as the rail network, which will, of course, be a crucial outcome of this meet.
Well, Priyanka, this is the second virtual summit the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is having with any leader of the South Asian region. The first, of course, was with Sri Lanka. And the key focus, of course, is connectivity. And we know that the inauguration of the railway link will happen. This is one of the fifth railway link that will be now established between the two countries. It was a pre-1965 railway link that, of course, was suspended. But now India and Bangladesh have been making concerted focus on connectivity, whether it's the rail link, whether it's the road link, or whether it is the air link as well, because earlier this year we saw India and Bangladesh agreeing to a transport bubble amidst the COVID pandemic so that people can come to and fro, particularly the people who come to India from Bangladesh for medical services. But by and large, this will be also an occasion for celebration
Right.
of the father of the nation of Bangladesh, because this year marks the 100th anniversary of his birth anniversary, and that is something that the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi was expected to visit Bangladesh earlier this year, but he could not because of the COVID pandemic.
Right, Siddhant. Now, India and Bangladesh, of course, enjoy strong bilateral ties, and how will these shape policies in a post-COVID world, especially with an aggressive China in the region?
Well, one of the big focus that both the countries are focusing on is on the COVID pandemic. How, when it comes to COVID pandemic, there can be cooperation. In fact, India's foreign secretary had visited Bangladesh, and that was his first visit amidst the COVID pandemic to any foreign country. And during his meeting with his counterpart and, of course, his call with the Bangladeshi Prime Minister, he talked about the COVID vaccine. Whenever India comes up with a COVID vaccine, Bangladesh will be on the priority list. Yes, of course, there is a big increase in the Chinese influence in South Asia, and of course to fight that, India has been also focusing on a number of development projects, and of course connectivity remains the big focus. But by and large, if we look and talk about the success stories in South Asia, India's success story in terms of its relationship with any South Asian country, Bangladesh is something that has been talked about much. It is being called as the Sonali Adhyay, the golden age of the relationship, and for that we have seen number of engagement. In fact, the Indian Prime Minister is expected to visit Dhaka next year in March of 2021 to mark and celebrate, of course, the 50th anniversary of the independence of Bangladesh from, of course, the Pakistani rule. And that is expected to be a high-profile visit, and his first visit amidst the COVID pandemic. In fact, the Indian Prime Minister his last visit was to Brazil in 2019. So after that, his first visit will be to Bangladesh, and of course we do expect during that visit as well more connectivity links to be inaugurated by both the Prime Ministers.
Right. All right, Siddhant, thank you so much for your inputs, and thank you for joining us on this broadcast.